In the ancient world of Greek mythology, where gods walked among mortals and divine power shaped human destiny, there existed a goddess whose very name embodied one of humanity's most sought-after ideals. Her name was Harmonia, and she was the goddess of harmony and concord. But unlike many deities whose stories revolve around displays of power or dramatic interventions, Harmonia's tale is one of balance, unity, and the delicate threads that bind opposing forces together. To understand Harmonia, we must first understand that she was born from an impossible union, one that would define her entire existence and the paradoxes she would come to represent. Harmonia's most commonly accepted parentage traces back to two of Olympus's most contradictory deities: Ares, the brutal god of war, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. This affair between Aphrodite and Ares was one of the most scandalous in Greek mythology, as Aphrodite was married to Hephaestus, the god of forge and crafts. The symbolism here is profound and intentional. From war and love came harmony, representing the ancient Greek understanding that balance emerges from the reconciliation of opposing forces. Harmonia had several siblings from this same union, including Phobos and Deimos, the personifications of fear and terror who accompanied their father Ares into battle, and the Erotes, winged gods of love. Yet Harmonia was different. Where her brothers spread fear or desire, she brought unity and accord. However, there exists an alternative origin story. In accounts from the island of Samothrace, Harmonia was said to be the daughter of Zeus, king of the gods, and Electra, one of the Pleiades. In this version, her connection to the sacred mysteries of Samothrace gave her a different kind of divine authority, one rooted in ancient ritual and secret knowledge. Regardless of her parentage, what remained consistent across all accounts was her fundamental nature. Harmonia stood as the divine opposite of Eris, the goddess of strife and discord. Where Eris brought chaos and conflict, Harmonia brought peace and unity. Her Greek name, Harmonia, literally translates to harmony or agreement, and the Romans would later worship her as Concordia, emphasizing her role in civic unity and peaceful coexistence. Harmonia's destiny would become forever intertwined with that of a mortal hero named Cadmus. Cadmus was no ordinary man. He was a prince of Tyre who had been searching for his sister Europa after she was abducted. His quest led him across the ancient Mediterranean, and eventually, an oracle instructed him to abandon his search and instead follow a cow until it collapsed from exhaustion. There, he was to found a great city. This city would be called Cadmea, which would later become known as Thebes, one of the most important cities in ancient Greece. But founding this city came at a price. Cadmus killed a dragon that was sacred to the god Ares, which enraged the war god. As punishment, Cadmus was forced to serve Ares for 8 years. Yet something remarkable happened at the end of this servitude. Zeus himself decided that Cadmus, having completed his penance and successfully founded Thebes, was worthy of a divine bride, and that bride would be Harmonia. In the Samothracian version of the myth, Cadmus either received Harmonia as a gift or carried her off after being initiated into the island's sacred mysteries. Either way, the union of a mortal hero and an immortal goddess was unprecedented. The wedding of Harmonia and Cadmus was celebrated with extraordinary grandeur in the city of Thebes, and remarkably, all the gods of Olympus attended. This was an exceptional honor. Divine beings rarely gathered for mortal events. The wedding became a legendary moment when the boundaries between the mortal and immortal worlds dissolved. Each god brought magnificent gifts to honor the couple. Zeus bestowed success upon their union, while other gods offered tokens of power and protection. But the most significant gift, and the most ominous, came in the form of a necklace. This necklace was crafted by Hephaestus himself, wrought from beautifully worked gold and inlaid with precious jewels. It was a piece of divine craftsmanship that any mortal would covet. But there was darkness woven into this gift. Most versions of the myth claim that Hephaestus, still seething with anger over his wife Aphrodite's affair with Ares, created the necklace to curse any children born from that union. In this way, the spurned husband's vengeance would echo through generations. Harmonia and Cadmus became the parents of 6 children: 4 daughters, Ino, Polydorus, Autonoe, Agave, and Semele, and in some accounts, a son named Illyrius. Through Semele, Harmonia became the grandmother of one of the most important gods in Greek mythology, Dionysus, the god of wine, celebration, and ecstasy. Their children would go on to become rulers and establish royal lineages in Thebes. But the curse embedded in the wedding necklace began to manifest. All of Harmonia and Cadmus's children experienced great misfortune. Tragedy after tragedy befell the family. Through Agave's son, Pentheus, the necklace eventually came into the possession of Jocasta, who would become both wife and mother to Oedipus in one of Greek mythology's most famous tragedies. The necklace then passed to Polynices, Jocasta's son, who used it to bribe Eurypyle, setting in motion the catastrophic military campaign known as the 7 against Thebes. The necklace continued its path of destruction through multiple generations, bringing death to figures like Amphiaraus, Eurypyle, Alcmaeon, and Phegeus and his sons. It became one of the most feared cursed objects in all of Greek mythology. Eventually, the weight of tragedy became too much. Harmonia and Cadmus left Thebes, abandoning their children and the cursed necklace behind, seeking refuge in the unruly lands to the north where the Enchelians lived. In this new land, far from the city they had built, Cadmus demonstrated his heroic nature once more. He helped the Enchelians in their conflicts with neighboring tribes, and by unifying several tribal groups, Cadmus and Harmonia gained a new kingdom. Here, Harmonia gave birth to another son, Illyrius, who would succeed Cadmus as king and give his name to the entire region, Illyria, and its people, the Illyrians. But even in this new kingdom, the consequences of the past caught up with them. One day, Cadmus reflected on the dragon he had slain so many years ago, the act that had set everything in motion. The transformation that followed is one of the most poignant moments in Greek mythology. As Cadmus pondered whether the gods cared more about the life of a serpent than all his accomplishments, he was instantly transformed into a snake. Harmonia, witnessing her husband's transformation and unable to bear separation from him, begged the gods to grant her the same fate. Zeus heard her plea and transformed Harmonia into a serpent as well. But this wasn't a punishment, it was a gift. The pair were then carried to the islands of the Blessed, known as Elysium, where they could reside together in peace for all eternity. The serpent transformation carries deep symbolic meaning. In ancient Greek culture, snakes represented rebirth, wisdom, and the earth itself. By becoming serpents, Harmonia and Cadmus returned to a more primal, peaceful existence, freed from the burdens of civilization and curse alike. As the goddess of harmony and concord, Harmonia presided over both marital harmony and the harmonious action of soldiers in war. This dual role reflected her parentage. She could bring peace to marriages while also ensuring coordination in battle. Later, Greek and Roman philosophers portrayed Harmonia in more abstract terms, as a deity who presided over cosmic balance and the order of the universe itself. She became a symbol not just of interpersonal peace, but of the fundamental harmony that keeps the cosmos functioning. In Thebes, ancient wooden images of Aphrodite were said to be votive offerings made by Harmonia herself, crafted from the figureheads of Cadmus's ships. These statues represented three aspects of love: Urania, for pure spiritual love; Pandemos, for physical love; and Apostrophia, for the rejection of unlawful passion. Through these offerings, Harmonia demonstrated that true harmony required understanding all aspects of love while maintaining proper boundaries. While Harmonia wasn't a major deity in the Greek pantheon, she was invoked as a symbol of harmony and unity, especially during times of conflict or discord. Shrines and cults dedicated to her existed, particularly in Thebes, where her story remained most prominent. In art, Harmonia was depicted as a graceful figure representing balance and concord, often shown in scenes of her marriage to Cadmus or as part of divine wedding processions. Her symbolic imagery included musical instruments, intertwined serpents representing her final form, and balanced scales reflecting her role in maintaining equilibrium. The story of Harmonia teaches us that harmony is not the absence of conflict, but the balance achieved when opposing forces come together. Born from war and love, married to both glory and tragedy, transformed from goddess to serpent, Harmonia's journey embodies the Greek understanding that true peace requires accepting all aspects of existence: the beautiful and the terrible, the mortal and the divine. Her legacy reminds us that harmony is always fragile, always precious, and always worth pursuing, even when the cost is high. And perhaps that's why, thousands of years later, we still use her name when we speak of things coming together in perfect balance. We call it harmony. Thanks so much for listening. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode. And don't forget to share it with a friend who might enjoy it too. I'll see you again with another story to tell.